Vanakkam. Welcome to this course on classics in neuroscience. In this video, in this series of videos starting with this video, we will look at functional organization of neurons and dendrites. Previously we have looked at synapses and action potentials. From this video we will look at dendrites and functional organization. Shown here in this picture is a neuron with an axon, myelinated axon with the myelin sheath covering this with nodes of Ranvier marked, and axon terminals, many axon terminals, yes, and dendrites. In this video we will build the background and introduction to this topic, and we will discuss the legacy of Golgi and Santiago Ramon Cajal. Much of this has been previously discussed, but still it is useful to refresh ourselves once before we proceed deeper. So, it was Matthias Schleiden who introduced cell theory for plants in 1838. This was extended to animals or animal cells by Theodor Schwann in 1839. This started a whole series of microscope based studies or microscopic studies in the 1840s, establishing the cell as the fundamental unit of the biological system. This was shown to be true in many systems, but somehow acceptance of the cell theory in the nervous system was not so forthcoming. There were some challenges in accepting cell theory in the nervous system because there was considerable amount of difficulty in visualizing the neuronal processes. They were too small, too congested, too difficult to visualize. Remember, this is the 1840s, 1850s, 1860s. So, there was no electron microscope, this was the use of light microscope. This was the good old days. This is what was available. The light microscopy method was improved by Camillo Golgi, where he provided a method of impregnation that helped improve visualization of the individual cells in the central nervous system. And he interpreted correctly that there were dendrites that were branching, and the branches of these dendrites ended freely, and he also found axons forming several branches or collaterals, axon collaterals, and he classified axons as two types: long axons and short axons. Those that connect other parts of the body or other parts of the other nuclei are usually have long axons, and then those with short axons are usually interneurons. Now they have been identified as interneurons. Somehow Golgi interpreted the axon collaterals as forming a continuum. That is, he said that axons continue, do not end freely. Somehow this was not accepted, or this was challenged by the Spanish histologist Santiago Ramon Cajal, who proposed the neuron doctrine, where he said that each neuronal cell is a separate individual cell communicating only through contacts, but there is no continuity. This is something that we now know to be accepted. Of course, this is something that we have discussed in our previous videos, just refreshing. So, Santiago Ramon Cajal confirmed Golgi's findings, other aspects of organization, but he rejected the concept of continuity or the concept of reticulum. So, the neuron doctrine is essentially an extension of the cell theory applied to the nervous system. here what is shown here is a neuron communicating with another neuron through chemical means, we have seen this previously, and visualization of some neurons with its dendritic processes and some axonal collaterals here. It was Charles Sherrington who introduced the term synapse as part of his chapter on neurophysiology. Remember this, we discussed this in the previous videos. So, first the neuron doctrine was supported by experimental evidence. So, the neuron doctrine came to be accepted first with the evolution of neurobiology, and this idea essentially reshaped the understanding of nervous system and its fundamental unit. So, the most fundamental unit of the nervous system is a neuron, like you have an atom in physics, or you have a gene in genetics. Likewise, you have the neuron in neuroscience. This idea came to be first supported, accepted. Later some challenges in terms of electrical synapses were raised and they were also explained, but that happened much later in the 1960s. But initially there was some evidence to support the neuron doctrine. So, with this we come to the end of this video. In this video we introduced the concept of functional organization and we gave the background, relevant background for this study. We also discussed the legacy of Golgi and Santiago Ramon Cajal and the neuron doctrine and how it came to be supported. With this we end this video. Thank you very much for your attention.